Good afternoon and welcome to the MRF Challenge, coming to you from Chennai for the final round of the season. We have just 2 races remaining here today. And David Addison, I believe tactics are coming into play now.
Well, they are, because this grid that we have for the penultimate race is the finishing positions of the previous one, but with the top 6 reversed. So again, there was this desire for drivers to be in the top 6,
yes.
But actually, of course, if you're thinking cleverly about this race, 5th or 6th gets you on the front row, and that means that you've got this nice clear run ahead of you down to the first corner. But also, the grid for the last race is based on a driver's fastest lap time across the weekend out of the previous 4 races. So, if you're at the front here, clear track space, push, like a qualifying lap, see if you can get pole. Or equally, if you're in the body of the field, both in this race and in previous ones, drop back a bit, give yourself some clear track space ahead, and then push. So it's more in the driver's minds than just thinking points and places.
Absolutely. And one of the people on the front of the grid is who?
We've got Jamie Chadwick on the 2nd rank on the grid. In other words, she was 5th in the earlier race, and she is now the championship leader, and she is the championship leader by an increased margin. It was 1 point, it's now up to 5. And she's looking very, very good for a championship, because she's on the front row and her championship rival Max Deforney is on row 4. Making progress has not been his forte this weekend. He's really now up against it, and she's not making mistakes. She's looked rock solid, banking points, getting good results.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to go and speak to some of them on the grid, and I'll speak to you shortly.
Indeed.
Okay, thank you. Right, let's make our way down to P4. So, Linus, do you think it's possible to better that last result?
I don't know, we'll see. Like I said in the last race, I think I'll start by just having try to have a good start, and yeah, we'll see after lap 1 where we are, but hopefully we can be, and on the podium.
I know fastest lap is important, so what have you done with regards to tyres?
So we actually gone on new. We've gone with a bit of a gamble. I think the majority of the field got old tyres, so hopefully this will play to our advantage, but yeah, we'll gonna wait and see.
Okay, thanks very much. Making my way over to P3, we have Andreas Essner. He's just having a word with some people. I wonder if I can just interrupt there. Sorry. Andreas, thoughts going into this race 4?
Yeah, I mean, I want to make up some positions, of course, to hold P3 in the championship.
Tyres? New? Used?
Used.
There we've got it, see? I told you there were tactics. If I can just interrupt you here, Rupert, sorry. Jamie, good position to be on the grid, and hopefully at the end of the race as well.
Yeah, that's the plan. Front row is exactly where we want to be, so hopefully with a good start we can get another good result and carry some more points into the last race.
And fastest lap in your sights?
Yeah, again, it's got a bit hotter now, so I'm not sure if that's going to be quite as possible for the last race, but yeah, we're going to be pushing, so we'll see.
Thanks very much, Jamie. Finally, let's get to pole man, Jack Doohan. First time here for Jack, and been putting in a good performance. It's been tough on yourself with regards to how you're handling the races, so you're now in the perfect spot, aren't you?
Yeah, no, it's a good spot, but I just have to focus on it like it's any other race, really, you know. No one in front of me, clear track, so I just need to get in my rhythm, make sure I get off good at the start, and then, yeah, just keep pushing in front and try and break away from the group.
You know that you're fast in the section, so can you put it all together to try and get that fastest lap?
Yeah, I'll do my best.
All right, thanks very much, Jamie. David, it's back to you.
Thanks, Louise. Jack Doohan then on pole position, the Australian, new to the cars, new to the championship this weekend. He's one of 4 newcomers that we have for these final races in the
2018-2019 MRF Challenge. MRF, a very enthusiastic supporter of this cracking single-seater series, and very busy supporters of motorsport increasingly across the world. KM Mammon, the chairman and managing director of MRF, is here, and so also many of his wares. MRF now busy in racing and rallying as well, seen on a domestic and world championship stage. Cars and bikes as well, all these days run on MRF rubber. So we're good to go, and the grid is now being cleared. The grid girls, the teams, the parents, the engineers make their way into the pit lane, and then it's going to be the 1 minute board, engines fire up, and it'll be down to the drivers as we see the different types of tyre, the different types of tread that MRF offers you. Whether it's for road or track or off-roading, competition or domestic use, MRF has something for you. And so, looking down onto the grid, you see the blue and turquoise colours of Jack Doohan, son of motorcycle racing legend Mick Doohan, on pole position. Jamie Chadwick then with a clear road ahead. She was second on the grid in the equivalent race, in other words, the semi-reverse grid race yesterday, and she won it. So Jack Doohan will be very, very keen to make a decent start here and fend her off. But also look further back on that grid, the blue and red colours carried by Max de Forney. He starts 7th and needs points, fundamentally. He has to be ahead of Jamie Chadwick, and he's not achieved that in any race thus far. And he's running out of options. There are 2 races. There are effectively now 40 laps in which he's got to make up 5 points to be equal, 6 to be ahead and stay there for the final race. It's not going to be easy for him. He cannot afford to sit in 7th place for very long at all. He's got to be on the attack, and he knows that. He's been looking a little bit more nervous pre-race, I have to say, darting up and down the paddock, and hopefully he's going to be able to make progress. And I say hopefully, not just for his sake, but also to be great to have the championship go right down to the wire. Those from the stunt bike display here watching the cars up against the pit wall as the grid, now cleared, is going to be released onto the formation lap. But if you think back 2 years ago, we had the tie-break between Harrison Newey and Joey Morton. That was the ultimate way of finishing the championship. Can we get anything quite so close? Who knows? But we'll have an idea in part after this 20-lap race. Green flag flies. Jack Doohan blasts away. The grid is complete. What's been very reassuring this weekend is that we've had precious little damage in these cars. The only real damage I can remember across the practice and qualifying sessions was Dylan Young going off on Friday in FP2, but his car was easily repaired for qualifying. So Jack Doohan, the former karter, double Australian karting champion, and a man that raced last year in British F4. He had 3 wins for the Arden team as teammate to Patrick Pasma. Jamie Chadwick, championship leader, 5 points up on Max de Forney, and then it's 3 points, Essner and Pasma. So that's the other battle that we need to be keeping an eye on here. Andreas Essner, 3 points up on Patrick Pasma. As I say, 5 between Jamie Chadwick and Max de Forney, going to one more race after this, all being well. First weekend of the cars, he's had a 3rd, a 9th and a 6th. Jamie Chadwick then lining up with him at the front of the grid, former GT4 champion in the British GT Championship, race winner in BRDC British F3 as well last season. And she's had a 5th, a 1st and a 5th thus far in the 3 races. Andreas Essner fighting with Patrick Pasma for 3rd in the championship, 4th, 3rd, 4th, his results across the weekend thus far, and he's also been a regular in Italian and German F4 this past season, 2018, but of course these more powerful cars again. 4th on the grid, Linus Lundqvist, new to the cars this weekend, winner of the BRDC Formula 3 Championship, the British F3 contest in 2018, but also a Formula Renault North European Zone champion and Formula STCC Nordic champion in seasons past as well. Michelangelo Amendola starts 5th with Patrick Pasma, double winner this weekend, 6th, then triple championship race winner Max de Forney, 7th, and 6th, the best result with 2 7ths that he's had thus far this weekend. Dylan Young, 2nd yesterday, 8th on the grid, 9th is the youthful teenager, 15-year-old Valdemar Eriksson, with Glenn van Berlo alongside him. then it is Sebastian Essner and the Saudi Arabian girl Rima Al-Jafali, with Indian Chetan Karada and the Brit Josh Mason, who had a spin out of the earlier race. That's why he's at the back as a non-finisher. He will complete the grid. Down they come then onto the grid markers. Pole position, of course, on the outside, which is much of the cleaner side of the road. Gets swept, of course, because it's the line out of the last corner. And if people go off, they bring all the very dry dirt and dry grass onto the circuit. So over the course of a day, it becomes a really slippery circuit, almost like a rally stage for cars that race late in the day. As soon as Josh Mason is in place, then we will have the 5-second board. Pressure on. This is the penultimate race within the MRF Challenge. And now championship aspirations can either be made or destroyed. 40 laps to go. The first 20 are about to get underway. Race 4 of 5 in the 2-litre MRF Challenge here at the Madras Motor Racetrack, and it is go. And a good start is made by Jamie Chadwick. A good start's made by Essner as well. Chadwick goes past Doohan on one side. Essner tries to go the other. And Jamie Chadwick leads down towards turn 1. The dream start for her. Essner goes up into second place. Deforney round the outside of Pasma. He's on the attack as he needs to be as they come up towards turn 2. But it's Jamie Chadwick in the lead of the race then. An absolutely dream getaway. Is a little bit wide goes Linus Lundqvist. Deforney has managed to wriggle himself up past Patrick Pasma, so that's 1 place gained, but he needs a whole lot more than that, because right now there's 25 for the win there for the taking for Jamie Chadwick, with a car off then coming out of the S's. Somebody has lost it and gone across the grass. There Dylan Young attacks on the outside. Max Deforney up the inside of Michelangelo Amendola. He's off the road, but he's gained a place. Is he back on again? Yes, he is, and there's mayhem behind. One car tipped into the air, and that was, I fear, Valdemar Eriksson. Yes, it was. It's Eriksson that was up in the air and back down again. So drama over at turn 5. Deforney is on the attack, and a red flag. Race stop. Red flag. So the race is being stopped. No safety car. Straight away a stoppage. So there's Valdemar Eriksson's car stranded trackside. And there was another one that we had lost going out of the S's. So that, and Josh Mason off as well. Hadn't spotted that Josh was involved, but his car is also very, very badly damaged. So that was a second incident, wasn't it, coming out of the S's? So replay of the start. Great getaway by Jamie Chadwick. She and Jack Doohan, incidentally, both on used tyres. Now, the Essner crash with Mason has already happened, and this was Eriksson going up the inside of Pasma, Amendola running off the road and back on again, and as they all kind of go for the same bit of real estate, Eriksson in the wrong place at the wrong time, with Jamie Chadwick having gone to get some shade. Rupert's on the grid, and let's go and join Louise for a quick word with Rupert Svensson-Cook.
Yes, Rupert is Jamie's manager, and you've just been speaking to Jamie. She's popped out of the car. Firstly, how do they keep their heads in these situations to try and keep in focus on the race?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky one for Jamie there because, you know, off the front row, got the lead and was gone, and then they've red flagged it, and you've got to regrid and do it all over again. But yeah, I mean, this is the great thing with this championship is you have 5 races a weekend, so, you know, what is that? She's done a lot now, so... yeah, and it's high pressure. Obviously, she's leading the championship, and this is a defining race. But yeah, words to her. There's not a lot I can say to her now, really. You know, a happy Jamie's a fast Jamie normally, so we just keep her relaxed.
Thanks very much, Rupert.
Thank you.
David, back to you.
So on the live stream, the bike stunt keeping everybody occupied whilst we have this stoppage, and the 3 stunt riders that we have, the Australians. Sean Webb on the red Honda 450. There's Hannes Ackermann from Germany. The other Australian is Daniel Ford with his blue Yamaha 250. It's the KTM that Hannes Ackermann is on, and an absolutely amazing display of what you can do on a motorbike here as the stunt show continues in fine style. The extraordinary balance and talent and precision of the bike stunt show continues here at the Madras Motor Racetrack. And the braver they get, the more speed carried, the more dramatic everything becomes. So we have on the timing screen news that the restart is going to be over 18 laps here at the Madras Motor Racetrack. Last car into place. And very shortly, then we will have the restart to the MRF Formula 2000 Challenge round 4 of the weekend. 5 red lights will go on. And when the lights go out now, we are racing, and it's another good start by Jamie Chadwick. Can Doohan cut across? No, he can't. By the time he's realised she's there, it's too late. He tries to jink across. Deforney looking for the inside line as well as they dive down towards turn 1. Patrick Pasma hangs him out to dry on the outside line. Deforney, number 33, goes through. But Chadwick leads the way. Lundqvist round the outside there of Doohan as they get to turn 2. Can't do it. But Jamie Chadwick it is that leads the pack as they swing up through the left-hander of turn 3 for the first time now. This is the S's. This is where the incident was. You can see the witness marks on the road. And Doohan is absolutely determined to get his lead back. Dylan Young comes up to attack Deforney. Doohan goes one side of Jamie Chadwick and then the other as they break at turn 4. Lundqvist is third, but it's the British girl that leads the way. The Australian driver second, and then the third in the queue is Linus Lundqvist. Jamie Chadwick it is up front. Turning their way through towards now turn 6. There is Patrick Pasma going through, number 5, double winner this weekend, and Max Deforney is ahead of him on the road. So Deforney starting to make a bit of progress in terms of where he was on the grid. So Deforney is, what, 6th as he comes down towards turn 8, has a look on the inside line. But the danger is, of course, he gets himself in jeopardy by trying to overtake and getting his nose chopped off. And also, of course, irrespective of what he is doing, so Jamie Chadwick, by leading the race, is massively outscoring him again. Down they turn through turn 10 now, end of lap 1, 18 lap restart, and they come up over the brow down towards the right hander at turn 12. Through they turn now, and then up towards the timing line. So the race order is at the end of lap 1, Jamie Chadwick ahead, second is Doohan, in third place is Lundqvist, in fourth place is Andreas Essner, Michelangelo Amendola is in 5th, 6th is Deforney, 7th is Dylan Young, 8th is Patrick Pasma, 9th is Glenn Van Berlo, and 10th it's Rima Al Jafali with Chetan Corrada in last spot of the 11 survivors going into this restart. 18 laps, this is lap 2, and Deforney then trying to close up onto the back of Amendola, but he has got a lot of work to do. And interestingly, at the moment, Jamie Chadwick is not getting away easily from Jack Doohan. Remember that Jack has not raced these cars up until this weekend. He's trying hard, and it's still a long, long line as they go up towards turn 4 this time. Chadwick now up through turn 5. There is Doohan right in the wheel tracks. And we saw yesterday how Jamie Chadwick was able to cope with the pressure. Very effectively indeed was the answer. Through they turn now up through the fast right-hander at turn 6. The cars now drop down once again towards turn 8, where Deforney not close enough to anybody this time to attack. Lundqvist is on the attack though, trying to keep Essner at bay. They're wheel to wheel. Essner goes off the road and he's going to get back on somewhere. Is he going to eliminate anybody else as he rally crosses back towards the tarmac? I think he's going to be okay, but he falls down the order, and significantly Patrick Pasma, his rival for third in the championship, goes ahead of him. So Essner off the road. And Linus Lundqvist then hangs on to his third place, but in certainly aggressive fashion, that's for sure. It was quite a moment, that, and Andreas Essner may well find his car overheating if he's scooped anything up into the radiators. Over the line, Jamie Chadwick, it is up front with Doohan now under a half a second back as they go into turn 1. Linus Lundqvist is there in third place. Michelangelo Amendola is 4th, and Deforney has gained a place, of course, out of all of that. He's now 5th. 6th is Young, 7th is Pasma, 8th is Van Berlo. In 9th place there is Andreas Essner, so that's where he's fallen to as they come now through the S's. So the cars come out of turn 4. Max Deforney still pushing as hard as he possibly can. And so far, with 2 laps done, Deforney has done the fastest of them, thinking about the grid for race 5. Replay of the start. Again, Jamie Chadwick gets away better with a greater experience than does Jack Doohan. He tried to cut across, but it was too late. She'd already gone through, but now Jack Doohan's going to try and get the lead back via racecraft rather than being quick out of the blocks. And this was the moment between Lundqvist and Essner. Side by side into turn 8 was never really going to work in these cars, and Essner was the casualty, bouncing his way across the dirt and back on again. Deforney is on the attack once more because Lundqvist's got a problem. Lundqvist has slowed right down. Coming into turn 10, Linus Lundqvist with a problem. So this real mixed bag of a weekend for him continues. The Swedish driver so quick in practice, but it's never really clicked for him in the races. Admittedly, he's not here for championship points, but he wanted results, and he's not going to get them in this either. Chadwick leading the way. Second now, Doohan. Big gap back. Third is Amendola. 4th is Deforney. So he is creeping up the order, but not enough because Chadwick is still going to outscore and therefore extend that championship lead once again. Linus Lundqvist down the pit road, and the leaders accelerate now down through the S's once again. Now Doohan was 0.6 back, and he's also done the fastest lap of the race here, 1:31.062 being the fastest lap that Jack Doohan has done. You get 2 points for that within the race, so ideally Chadwick or Deforney would like those for their championship aspirations, but it's not going to be easy to achieve, that's for certain. With a turn, back onto the power now, sprinting up through the left-hander of turn 7. And Jack Doohan desperately would like a win. He's been really hard on himself all weekend. Really is a hard taskmaster, because given that he's not been here or raced these cars before, I think he's done a pretty good job, it's got to be said. But he wants more each time out, whether it's in qualifying or in the race. And he's certainly been beating himself up a bit about his starts. And yet again, I'm afraid he was out-dragged. But as they come in towards turn 10, Max Deforney showing far better pace now, because he's in the 4th race and he needs to go well. He's getting on his toes again, trying to find places. And Jamie Chadwick also not being able to get away, because she's a bit busy defending from the Australian Jack Doohan, the Red Bull Junior driver behind, as they come over the timing line once again now. Amendola in 3rd place. In 4th is Deforney. And Jamie Chadwick, race leader now, with 4 laps in the book. There she is. Now, can Deforney do anything about Amendola? Even if he can, it's, he still needs others to get up and past Jamie Chadwick. So it's a tall order, and that is Linus Lundqvist's car empty. Leaders through, 3rd and 4th through. Out of the right-hander they come. Max Deforney still pushing as hard as he possibly can. Michelangelo Amendola is the target. So the 2 Belgian drivers, and they came to, not blows as such, but almost came to grief in the first start at this race, remember, because it was the move Deforney made on Amendola that was the catalyst for everybody else having to take evasive action, and Valdemar Eriksson being the casualty. But it was the other incident that we had behind them that was the real race stopper. There is Deforney then, hustling on. What we have seen over the last couple of races is that he gets quicker and quicker as the race wears on, and it's happening again. He's done the absolute best within the first sector. Amendola, though, has done the absolute best in the middle sector, and he always has been good around that mid part of the lap. Down they turn. It's gear selection dramas for Linus Lundqvist, I'm told. So that's the news from the pit lane. Linus Lundqvist, gear selection out of the race. Jamie Chadwick comes through. Jack Doohan is behind, and it's still half a second between them. So with the race now starting lap 6, there is Max Deforney. He came here as the championship leader. His lead went from 18 points down to 14, and then he found himself 1 point behind, and now he finds himself 5 points behind Jamie Chadwick. So significant how things have changed over the course of the weekend. There is the Belgian driver Max Deforney then. Real gun in Formula Renault over the last 3 seasons, although last year, when he needed the career momentum, it was his worst season. Really struggled with the MP Motorsport team. It was not a good season at all. Michelangelo Amendola is now the man with the fastest lap of the race, to his credit, as he tries to close up onto the back of Jack Doohan. There is Doohan, and Doohan in turn is still going after the leader, Jamie Chadwick. So there's still a bit that can shake out of this leading quartet. There is Amendola. They power down now in towards the right-hander at turn 10. Quick flick. You see how bumpy it is, and it really is exaggerated in these very rapid single-seaters with limited suspension. You see each spine-jarring bump. Out of turn 11 they will come over the brow. Patrick Pasma there has behind him Andreas Essner. Essner, of course, was off the road a few laps back, but he's recovering well here. And Patrick Pasma is his championship rival for 3rd place, so it's another serious fight going on between these two. Jamie Chadwick's race lead, 0.560 of a second. Fastest lap, the man in 3rd in the red car, Michelangelo Amendola. And there, through towards the S's, is Max Deforney, not really now being able to stay with his fellow countryman. Patrick Pasma, likewise, so good in the reverse grid races, dropping back into the clutches again of Andreas Essner here as they hit turn number 4 for the 7th time. Jamie Chadwick coming through, looking for yet another win. This will be a 2nd of the weekend. It could be a 5th of the season for her. And if you're going to win a championship, do it by winning as many races as you can as well. So Jamie through. Don't think that she's doing it all on reverse grid races, because the pace has been good and she's been very solid and error-free all weekend. Doohan, Amendola, then Deforney. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Down they turn. Sprinting now down once again towards turn 10. And Max Deforney comes up through the right-hander at turn 11 over the brow. Amendola going after Doohan here, and Doohan has certainly dropped back from Jamie Chadwick. It was half a second last time, and now it's 11/10ths of a second, so it's more than double between the top two. Doohan and Amendola then go through with that gap being half a second, and Deforney is another second back. We know it's hard to overtake around here because A, they're slicks and wing single-seaters and the aero has that negative effect, but also it's a fairly narrow and twisty circuit. But even so, Deforney struggling to stay with the leaders unless this is a plan. Drop back, give yourself clear real estate and push for a couple of laps and see whether you can get the fastest lap and secure a front row start for race 5. So the car's down towards the right-hander, which is turn 8, and you can see that now very definitely Michelangelo Amendola there is heading for another battle, and it's going to be with Jack Doohan. He's already had a couple of second places this weekend. Amendola has looked a lot stronger here than ever before in the MRF Challenge, be it this season or last. Jack Doohan, admittedly a newcomer, has let that gap open up to Jamie Chadwick. He's also being caught by Amendola, and he's really now feeling the pressure. He was wide coming out of turn 10. Doohan, irrespective of being a newcomer, has done a ripper job, because there he is against people with much more experience of the cars. Amendola, of course, raced here last year. Over the timing line goes Jamie Chadwick, that lead increasing all the time, and it's up now to 1.9 seconds. Doohan goes through in second place. Amendola third as they bear right through turn 1, but as long as Jamie Chadwick doesn't make a mistake, she's going to be on for yet another victory here, and that championship is getting ever closer to her. You can see the way that she's gapping the opposition, so there's Jamie Chadwick out on her own, and then coming through 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Max Deforney hoping that as Amendola gets stuck behind Jack Doohan, he's going to be able to not just close but then also pounce. Through they turn. Amendola now closer than ever before to Doohan. Right under the rear wing as they come down towards turn 10, but it's going to be hard to overtake. He needs to stay with him and then perhaps make the move diving through turn 1, or force a mistake out of Doohan, which happened in the second race of the weekend, the reverse grid race yesterday. They come over the brow. Deforney still not close enough, is he, to think about being part of that battle pack. He's watching it, but he can't get close enough. Jamie Chadwick's away and gone, and on the grass coming out of turn 12 is Doohan. Is that going to delay him enough? Here comes Amendola. He's closing. Can't make the move at turn 1. He's still close enough, though, to perhaps think about turn 2. Can he launch up the inside? No, Doohan moves across in defence. Here comes Amendola, wheel to wheel up the inside. The Belgian driver has the inside line for 2, but it's the outside line for 3. Can he go round the outside? He can. Great move. There is proof you can overtake if you can force a mistake out of the man ahead of you. And now Deforney tries to take advantage of that as well, but he's stuck there in the S's. Can he make the move at turn 4? Doohan goes defensive. Deforney tries the outside line at 4, the inside for 5. He breaks as late as he can, but he won't be able to do it there. Doohan drifts a little bit deep into the corner. Deforney at 5, wide in and tight out. Can he get up the inside? No, he can't. Amendola is away and gone, and you see how much time you lose by having to defend. Jack Doohan then falls back into 3rd place. Deforney ever so eager to get past it, but he can't do it. Can he force a mistake out of the Australian driver, though, now? Lap 10 we are on. And down they come. out of the left of turn 9 now. Jack Doohan running a little bit deep up towards the runoff on the outside of the road. Flicks through the right-hander at turn 10. And a slight lock-up from De Forney as they wriggle through this back part of the circuit now. Back onto the power, left over the brow. Jamie Chadwick, though, well clear up front. 2.3 seconds to the good as she crosses the timing line. Jack Doohan running third, De Forney fourth, Dylan Young is fifth, and Patrick Pasma is sixth. That's the order. So as the cars turn their way out of turn 2, race leader Jamie Chadwick now 3.5 seconds to the good, continuing to make this look very easy up front, and she has been impressive this weekend. As I've been saying, there's not a wheel wrong. We've not seen her making mistakes or doing anything silly at all. Very focused and totally error-free. Out of turn 5 now. Jamie developing all the time as a driver, part of the BLDC's Rising Stars initiative to promote young British talent. And the former Ginetta Junior racer, Brother Ollie, a very successful Ginetta champion as well, but as he has had to take a bit of a back seat, so Jamie's single-seater career has really blossomed. Race winner in British F3 and champion-elect in MRF Challenge. Now, Doohan versus De Forney. This is still raging on, this battle, and the Belgian driver has certainly not given up, nor has Doohan, because he's got to defend like crazy, but you can see the way that Amendola is away and gone. So it's a big gap, second to third. It's not much third to fourth now. At the start of this lap, it was only 0.7 of a second between these two. Over the timing line goes Jamie Chadwick. Michelangelo Amendola in second place. Jack Doohan third. Fourth, Max De Forney, 6 seconds covering the top 4, but De Forney having again to see his championship dreams slip away. Patrick Pasma still down in 6th place. His car, remember, was involved in the skirmish early on with Valdemar Eriksson, so whether it's 100%, because of course you can't do any repair work really under part fair make conditions on the grid, whether it's 100%, and he will know through driving it now in anger. But Patrick Pasma trying to get himself and therefore stay ahead of Andreas Essner for third place within the championship. There is a sideways Max De Forney coming out of turn 5. Pushing. Jamie Chadwick, though, still race leader here. Lap number 12 out of 18. So there is the black and white car of Dylan Young. Race leader over the line, Jamie Chadwick, but you were looking at third and fourth, concertining a touch as they came into the braking zone for turn 12 there. And is Doohan to De Forney any nearer? About 9/10 of a second, so still De Forney is not near enough to make a move. Andreas Essner, in the meantime, is on the back of Patrick Pasma. This for third place in the championship, don't forget. These are the two squabbling for P3. That's your overall top 6 in the race, with Pasma now chasing after Dylan Young, the Australian. You'll see Dylan's black and white car just at the head of that little queue. Through the S's goes Essner. It was there that his brother had the tangle early on with Josh Mason, and as they power up towards turn 4 now, still Jamie Chadwick the race leader, and by some gap, 3 seconds it is now. So down to the right-hander at turn 8 comes Chadwick. To the eye, De Forney looking a bit closer to Doohan, but still not close enough to have a go. And if Jack does not crack under pressure, he should be able to repel him all the way to the end here. Pasma versus Essner, same situation. Patrick Pasma doesn't often make mistakes. So Max De Forney comes down through the right-hander into turns 10 and 11. Jack Doohan, who was in the British F4 Championship, last season, drove for the Arden team, keeping Formula Renault racer Max Deforny at bay as they swing up now through turn 12 and over the timing line to start. Lap number 14, past the pits they go. So 5 laps left, and Michelangelo Amendola has just done the fastest lap of the race, another fastest lap of the race, a 1:30.932. So Amendola really is storming along. And he's brought the gap down as well. It was over 3 seconds. It's down to 2.4. This might be Jamie Chadwick driving within herself and making sure she gets the 25 points for the win. But even so, Amendola is showing very good car speed at the moment, very good pace. So they come through turn 4. There is Andreas Essner, the Italian and German F4 graduate. British F4 racer Jack Doohan still under attack. Deforny has crept up a little bit more to him this time, and so a couple of tenths found within the first sector, bringing him back into the mix. So the race leaders come up through the left-hander of turn 9 with Jack Doohan being given a hard time by Max Deforny, but knowing that it's hard to overtake as long as Jack stands his ground and doesn't make a little error and drift out wide. And this is part of the circuit where people have done it. Deforny's done it, Lundqvist has done it, big names have done it. Then he should be okay. Down towards turn 12 he comes now. Lost out, of course, early on to Michelangelo Amendola after he ran wide at turn 12, but here he's good. He goes over the line and he hangs on to third place with an advantage of 6 tenths over Max Deforny. So through they turn, and up now towards turn 3 goes Jack Doohan. So after a season of racing in the UK, plus a bit of racing in Germany and Italy, it's interesting to see where his career is going to take him next, as single-seater racing in general, of course, is having another interesting phase with the FIA's Formula 3 Championship going to the Grand Prix support bill, with what was the FIA F3 slot now becoming Formula European Masters and being back as it was years ago as the F3 Euro Series with the DTM. And single-seater racing's opportunities and options for drivers remain multitudinous. So we'll see where the likes of Doohan goes to next, especially with Formula Renault having taken very much a backseat. Down towards the right-hander comes Doohan at turn 8, Deforny behind him. There will still be a Formula Renault Euro Cup, but the NEC, very strong championship in the last few years, that's gone. But the MRF Challenge continues to go from strength to strength. More nationalities aware of it than ever before. New drivers coming in season after season. And it remains this excellent way of finding quick drivers and giving them a way of being race sharp over the winter. Jamie Chadwick very much race sharp. 15 laps of the 18 are now done. She goes through. Over the timing line with second Michelangelo Amendola, 2 seconds back now. So the last lap, Jamie was quicker in sector 1 and sector 2, but lost out a bit in sector 3. But even so, Amendola has too much time to make up in too few laps. I think Jamie Chadwick, as long as this has been the case really from the get-go, as long as she doesn't make a mistake, she's going to be good for the race win. Through she turns. Up now through turn 5 with there Michelangelo Amendola still doing his best to stay in touch. Andreas Essner wants to get past Patrick Pasma, and he is struggling likewise because, again, he's a bit stuck in that dirty air. So from this restart, one retirement, Linus Lundqvist. There was a squeal of tyres though, which might just have been Jamie Chadwick as she braked hard for the turn 8 right-hander, but everybody else behind goes through the turn with Essner at the rear of this little gaggle in 7th place. Sprint now down towards the completion of lap number 16. It'll be 2 to run at the end of it as Pasma goes through, as Essner rides shotgun. But Jamie Chadwick is set to extend this championship lead yet further. 2 laps to go over the timing line. So Michelangelo Amendola continues to hustle on, He's done another better lap. He's brought the gap down to 1.6 seconds, but this is, I think, largely Jamie Chadwick just driving within herself now. She doesn't have to win by the greatest margin. She just has to win. So, assuming she can do this, it'll be another 25 points for Jamie Chadwick. And with Max Deforney still running in 4th, he's going to get 12. So the difference is 13. We've already got 5 as the gap, so it's going to be 18 points going into the final race, which is very, very hard to see Max Deforney making up unless he were to win and Jamie Chadwick not finish. That would be the simplest way of doing it, but it's a very unlikely proposition. So champion-elect Jamie Chadwick comes now down towards turn 8. Amendola in the background, quicker in sector 1, but as I say, it's all now a little bit too late for him because he hasn't got the mileage left after this lap. Doohan and Deforney still 3rd and 4th as they come by. And Max Deforney has given it a good shot in this race, in fairness. This has been one of his more aggressive, more feisty drives, but it's to no avail. Seemingly, there's another lap to go. He might just be able to squeeze an error out of Doohan, but it's unlikely as they come now over the brow at turn 11. So for the last time, Jamie Chadwick comes up through turn 3 and is heading towards a second victory of the weekend. And as far as her season is concerned with the MRF Challenge, it's going to be her 5th, because there were 3 in Bahrain, and now it'll be win number 2 here. So Jamie Chadwick, number 55, will take win 5. There, 8. Michelangelo Amendola in 2nd spot, 1.4 seconds the gap was coming onto this last lap, and he's still pushing, because you never know if the driver ahead sees you coming, starts to quickly panic, might just be able to prize that error out of them. But down now towards the braking zone at turn 8, Jamie Chadwick has done another excellent job. Amendola in 2nd spot, Doohan 3rd, and 4th is Deforney as they turn now through that right-hander. Remaining 5th is Dylan Young, and 6th is Patrick Pasma. Still wonder whether Patrick's car is 100% because he's not quite being able to achieve what he might have anticipated given his usual pace. But the checkered flags are being made ready for Jamie Chadwick for win number 5 of the season, for win number 2 of the weekend. It's been 5th and 1st, 5th and 1st as the race results, and Jamie Chadwick comes out of turn 12 to win the penultimate race in the MRF Challenge and to put herself 18 points clear in the championship provisionally from Michelangelo Amendola, from Jack Doohan in 3rd place. 4th, it is Max Deforney. So everybody into the pit lane. This is Amendola there with the red case to her camera phone, delighted. Dad's busy videoing it all. So another great result for Michelangelo. And out he steps. In the background is Jamie Chadwick, and then behind for 3rd place, Jack Doohan's car. Amendola goes and says thanks to his girlfriend. Now the engineers congratulate him. And Mum's very happy about that as well. So we'll go and hear from the winning drivers shortly, but Jamie Chadwick it is that wins the race. The margin just 1 second in the end from Michelangelo Amendola. Jack Doohan 3rd ahead of Max Deforney, and then Dylan Young coming through for 5th place. And Jamie Chadwick, race winner, no doubt very happy indeed. Michelangelo Amendola there takes off his crash helmet, and let's go and join Louise, who is with Jamie Chadwick, our race winner.
Jamie, well done. Another great run from you, but it wasn't made so easy on that second start, was it?
No, it's a lot harder on that second one. I managed to get a good start again, get past Jack, but he really chased me for the first half of the first lap anyway. So yeah, I had to work for that, and fortunately managed to get a bit of a gap, and as soon as I got the gap I got my head down and managed to sort of extend it out a little bit. But yeah, it was heart in my mouth a little bit early on, but fortunately I managed to get the win, which I'm really happy with.
Well done. See you later. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to try and find our 2nd place driver, Michelangelo Amendola. Oh, here he is. He's waiting by the car, which is great. Well, that was some performance by you. You pleased?
Yeah.
Your fans are? Your friends and family?
Yeah, it was not good. What can I say? Oops, I did it again. So, yeah, race was pretty good. We managed to gain a lot on P1. Yeah, P2 again. If I'm happy, it's okay. So massive shout out to Belgium for everyone who's watching. So I love you all.
I'm sure they love you too right now. Thank you very much. And finally, I find Jack Doohan. Here he is. I can see him coming over. Jack, that second start was great for you because you'd seen how to take it from the first start.
No, it was still not great as I started on pole and you come into the first corner in second, so that's never really good. But yeah, the race was how it was, and yeah, I did the best I could, but it wasn't good enough.
These guys have got experience here. Amendola has experience here, so you know you can take that from it, surely.
No, I should definitely. Amendola only comes out here every year, so he's obviously driving brilliant, and I just need to up my game.
Okay. All right. I'll speak to you later. Thank you.
Thanks.
Drivers to the podium in a few moments' time, and then celebrations, hopefully for some, can get underway. Jamie Chadwick, though, very pleased indeed about the way that her weekend is going thus far and getting closer all the time to winning a championship. With an 18-point cushion now, I would think it's almost there, one hand on it. So everybody awaits the podium, and there is Arun Mammon, the Vice Chairman and Managing Director of MRF, and he will present the trophies as he has done all weekend. First of all to Jack Doohan, who takes third place, a third of the weekend for Championship newcomer. Then for second place it will be Michelangelo Amendola, who has done an excellent job this weekend and continues to get better and better every time out. Can he have a win by the end of the weekend? Well, we'll find out when the grid on fastest laps is published in due course. And then you've got the race winner, which is Jamie Chadwick, for the second time this weekend, for the 5th time this season, making her way up onto the top step of the podium, and she knows she's almost there. One hand is on that championship trophy. Jamie Chadwick, race winner here at the Madras Motor Race track. So trophies handed to Arun Mammon. Jack Doohan gets the third placed trophy. Michelangelo Amendola the second. And then for Jamie Chadwick, there will be the race winners trophy presented in a moment. So it's a quick turnaround for the teams. There are a couple more races before they're back out again. A look at the highlights of the 4th race of the weekend. An excellent start made by Jamie Chadwick, squeezing up on the inside of the pole sitter Jack Doohan. Also a feisty start from the Belgian driver Max de Forny. Drama between 1 or 2. Linus Lundqvist getting involved with the German driver Andreas Essner that put him on the grass, and although Essner was able to rejoin, he was rather badly delayed in that. But through the battles they came, with Michelangelo Amendola chasing. Doohan made a mistake, drifted out wide. Amendola got through, took the place, and that was enough to give him second spot around the outside at turn 3. Brave stuff, and it worked for him. So through he went. Jamie Chadwick on target for a race win, and now clear in the championship by 18 points after another excellent drive. Jamie Chadwick winning for the second time here this weekend, and Michelangelo Amendola taking second place. But Jamie Chadwick, the championship leader, and there's one more race still to come at the end of the afternoon. So let's join Louise with Arun Mammon.
Yes, I am with Arun Mammon. Firstly, what a spectacular race that was.
Yeah, it was indeed fabulous. Like this is our 7th year in this championship, and every year it gets better and better. And what is amazing is that all the cars are identical, and what really differentiates all the cars is the caliber of the drivers, and it really puts the driver to test, and it's a wonderful experience.
And we've had another full grid. It's proving popular year on year.
Yeah, it is. we've been having some fantastic drivers coming through.
Yeah.
Like we had Mick Schumacher, who was here 2 years ago, and he was here. He did 2 rounds of it, 2 years consecutively. And we have Adrian Newey's son, who was also driving with us. And we had some fantastic drivers who have gone through. And most of these drivers eventually will move up the ladder and probably get hopefully into Formula One.
Well, we've seen that with Mick already. He is going up the ladder now, isn't
Yes,
he, with Ferrari?
He is. Yeah.
And in terms, you mentioned Harrison there, Harrison Newey. He was here this weekend, and I know he was doing some tyre testing. So in terms of the development of the car, what can we expect?
Harrison was here basically for testing our new set of tires, which we would eventually use it for the next season. And we had a whole bunch of new tires which was given to him, and eventually trying to fine-tune our specs for next year. And a lot of work has been done, and so he did a lot of track miles, and hopefully we'll zero down on a particular tire for the next season.
Wonderful. So we've got lots to look forward to.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.
There's more to come here on the live stream. See you in a few minutes.